Hello and welcome to Universal Grip. Today we are going to show how to make a tensile test on the Galdabini Labtest software using the test setup wizard. So this is the first screen that you're going to see when you open up Labtest. So we just go here to the bottom left, method, and we're going to create a new method. So we can click new method, and then there's a bunch of methods that are pre-installed on the machine, all sorts of ASTM and ISO style tests. Now, if you want to just set up a basic generic style test, you just hit generic, tensile, and method. And we're going to go with this. This is basically going to give us a completely empty test that we then go and fill in. If we click any of these other ones, it's going to fill in a lot of the boxes for us and a lot of the options automatically. So since we're starting from scratch and making a new one from scratch, we'll use generic tensile method. But you can see you can do compression, bend testing, shear testing, virtually anything on this universal testing machine. So we'll go ahead and hit next, and we'll save it under a file name here. Go to the next screen. Is basically confirming what type of test we want to make. So we'll just hit save, and it'll create the method. Now we have a completely empty method ready to go. Now if we go along the bottom here, this is the test setup wizard. So we just methodically move through each section. So we'll first start with the measurement units. So you can switch between newtons, pounds, kilonewtons. We'll do English units, so we'll do pounds. We will do, let's see, here we'll do pounds per square inch, PSI. Where is PSI? We can also do KSI, which is essentially thousands. Here we go, pounds force by inch squared. Deformation, inches again. Inches. Go across the board with inches. The weight and linear loads, energy, these are for more advanced tests. We don't really need to get into those too much. You can also change the units. So if you want more significant digits, more decimal points on your units, this is where you click them. Now you don't want to miss this section on the right here, which is for the specimen diameter. Today I'm going to be testing tensile ropes, basically strands, singular filaments. So I'm going to hit strands. And actually, no, I'll click round specimens. And really what I want to pull is the diameter. So I'm just going to pull the diameter of these. You can set a nominal value. You can also add constraints. So if the user operator puts something in that's too large, you can set all that. So we're going to do that. We'll unclick this, and then we'll put in nominal diameter. We'll say these are pretty thin, so we'll say 0.1 inches. Then we just hit next. Actually, first, let me go back and make sure that's saved. Okay, save, and then next. Let me double check this again. Yep, pounds, inches, it's all saved. Next, we're not going to use an extensometer for this. I don't have one set up, but if you did have one, this is where you put it in. And we just go next. This is the load. So I can set a max load limit for this. And this machine, this is a 500-pound machine. The machines get much larger. This can go up to 2,000 kilonewtons if you get a very large machine. So in pounds, that is something like, let's see, 100 kilonewtons is 22,000 pounds times 20, 450,000 pounds. These machines go up to, but this machine here is a 2.5 kilonewton, which is about 500 pounds. So this just sets the max limit for the load cell. Make sure you don't go over or damage anything. So I'll save that. Here we can set up the test parameters for elongation. So this parallel length is the total elongation size, parallel length of the sample. And then the elongation base, this is your E0 or your base elongation, your gauge length, if you will. So on this, let's do 10 inches, and then gauge length can be a nice even 4 inches. You can have it update after the preload and add some things about yield. So this machine is very advanced. This is an R&D level machine. So you can do yield, you can do RP yield, 0.2% offset, and then actually define your peaks and where you actually see the peaks. You can also do toe compensation to remove the toe, that gray part, and just get a nice straight line. So we won't do any of this. We won't do too much on elongation. We're just setting up a basic tensile load test here today. So we'll go next. Here's where we can change the graph in the x-axis. We can have it load automatically, and then we can also set some basic parameters. So I'll go 10 inches on the x-axis, 200 pounds on the y-axis. So this is deformation or crosshead stroke or strain if you're taking strain from the crosshead measurement. That's all called deformation. And then load is pretty self-explanatory, but you can see all sorts of different things you can pick. You can flip the XY axes, you can add something like time, you can do all sorts of different things here. But we'll just stick with the basics: deformation or crosshead stroke and the load. We also want to be showing this on the test when we're running it in live. So we'll click these boxes over here. This will make sure that our live graph is popping that up. All right, here's where we set the phases of the machine. So we can set we can set 20. I think we can even add additional phases at the end, up to 100. So we're just going to go with a single phase, a tensile speed, and we're going to pull at 1 inch per minute. Not super fast, not super slow. Here's where we control the direction that the machine is going. So since this is a tensile test, we want to pull upwards, and this shows that we're testing up. This is the frequency of the storage of the data, basically how fast we're sampling. So let's go with 100 hertz, but you can go slower if you're doing like a very long test, like an 8-hour long test at very slow speed. You could reduce this. And then if you're doing a fast test, you can increase it. We'll stick with 100. That's good for today. And if you want to switch to a different phase, you'll set the mode that the parameters are at for the phase to switch to the next phase. And then we would click over here, next phase 2, or stop the test. I'll show you also how we stop the test later. The sample positioning procedure. So we won't use this today, but this is important if you're using pneumatic grips or an extensometer. Basically queries the user so that they very methodically go through each step in positioning and loading the sample. Here we can also do automatic return to home. Since we're just doing flexible strands, I don't have to worry too much about anything crashing together. So we will do a return to home and also an unload procedure and unloading of the sample. I think the sample is actually going to break, so we don't really have to do an unload. It's going to unload automatically when the sample breaks, obviously. So in the case that it doesn't and that we go to max load without a breakage, this will unload safely for us. See, that's positioning, test procedure, then the preload. So I like to set like a small preload just to get a good grip on the sample. So load to be reached, we'll just call it 10 pounds. No tolerance. If the load cell kind of bounces around, especially at those lower digits, so we can do like a 0.1 here. Load tolerance, crosshead tolerance, that's good. That all looks good. Test end mode. So this is critical for defining the end of the test. So we can do specimen rupture. So this is basically going to tell us when the specimen ruptures, and then we can set the rupture definition on the next screen, and I can do lower than % of max load, and let's say once the load drops 50%, signifying a sample break, it's going to end the test for us and return to home. So go ahead and save that and just kind of double check everything that's good. All right. We'll hit this back button, and then we'll go forward again. See again below here, we're just methodically moving forward. Now here's where we set the results. There's two things for results. We want to pull the results into our selected results. So you can search by just going up here. So I can do like a max load. 15, that's good for a basic tensile test. We can set some parameters that's usually called FM in documentation. We can change that. You can just call it max load. Format, we can change the decimal points again. You can set some criteria like disable the test result, like if it's a bad test, if it's too low of force, something messed up, you can automatically throw that out by hitting disabling test result if it's not okay. You can set min and maxes. Let's set a max just to make sure we don't ruin the test result. And that should be good. Save. Exit. Once we do that, you'll see it down here. Now, when we do that, we can then pull it into our columns for the report. So there's two things we want to do is set the test result and then set the columns. So we want to pull in max load and then it'll pull into our, it's almost like an Excel spreadsheet and we can export it to Excel afterwards. But the way it shows up is like a spreadsheet style, and here we're defining our columns. So we can have the max load, we can have the date, and if I want the date to sort of be in front, I click here, I move it up, it moves it over, and also the, let's see, section, this is the cross section, so I'll drag that over, move it up. Okay, that's looking good. Some of these other things, we can personalize the data, we can add some free boxes. If the sample has like a color or a code or something, we can put all that into the personalized data. We can also put in a specimen code here. We can remove it. So super flexible in terms of reporting. So we can delete the specimen code, add it back in. All right, we'll hit back again. Actually, let me make sure I saved that correctly. Max load, column layout is saved. Great. And then this method utility, we can add like a video help screen, a picture help screen to help the operator if you want to do a little how-to video of how to load the sample, maybe how to measure it, maybe you have calipers, maybe you have like a specific test procedure, you can load that right into the video and then it will pop up and show the operator exactly what to do. You can also set some manual control parameters. We already set the control, so we won't have to do that. And then method utility, actually, we can do cycle setting if we're doing cyclic testing. We can do some sine wave testing, triangular. We can also do sawtooth. You have to set it a different way with the phases, a little bit more in depth, but we can definitely do cyclic testing. And then the K machine procedure. This is more for compression tests. And basically this takes any error out of doing the compression. You do compression, all your grips move slightly, everything in the load cell chain moves slightly, and this basically offsets any of those minute errors by doing the K machine procedure. But since we're doing tensile, we don't have to worry about it. So that's really mostly for compression and shear type compression loading testing. So we'll go ahead and save. And that's it. So we have defined our test. Now, if we want to go and run the test, we'll go back, we'll click exit. We can go back and change anything. If you want to change anything, you have to click this box here. You can see I have 3 tests. This one I just did tensile test demo 1, and this opens it up and allows you to change the parameter. You just click this, activate the test method, and then boom, you can change everything that you just did in the settings. And so this looks good. We'll exit again, and then we go into the test execution mode. We set a log. A log is basically like your groups of tests. Just call it log 1. This is going to batch all of your different tests into one log. It will then activate the machine. You'll hear the motor start turning on, not super loud, but at least it'll start. Now, if we're doing the specimen procedure and we want to manually move the machine, we can do so with these arrows. And now the machine's moving down. It's off camera, but machine's moving down. You can see the little alarm in the bottom right. Basically, you know, don't put your hands near it. Once that's good, we can just hit, well, if we're doing specimen positioning procedure, we hit this and load it up, but we're not, so we can just go straight to starting our test. I have a sample loaded already on the grips. Just trying to find the preload. All right, now I'm loading. Up to 10, hit the preload. I'm pulling the sample, and it just broke, and it's returning the test. Probably need to update the graphic, maybe make it a little bit closer to what we actually have. Here it is updated, so you can see the max load reached was 17.58 pounds. I can also load my specimen code in the bottom left here. We'll just say specimen 1, and then the diameter, we can put that in. And then there's also a way to put it up into the results here. So if I just were to run again, another test just to show you, we'll hit the preload, run the test. I'll kind of hold it a little bit longer just so you can see, and then simulate a break. Doing the crosshead automatic return for us. It has returned, and I have the second one. I can go in. Here's where I can like adjust some of the points and actually view specific points on the graph. I can save this graph, I can print it out, I can export it, I can view and modify the results, do all sorts of things. You can reset the start and end point of the test. So there's a lot of things you can do to recalculate existing tests no matter how old they are. And we'll X out of that. There's also a way to change the color on the graph. So you see I have blue and light blue, which can be a little bit confusing. So there's a way I can go in and change that, I think, in here, and change the color. And each time you run a test, it's going to give you a new color. So I'll just show you one last time, third and final time. We'll pull, we'll hit the preload. It's pulling. And it broke. Doing the automatic return here. Give it a second to do the automatic return. And this one's going to be green now. Boom. So just did 3 quick tensile tests, really just simulating with my hand. But that is essentially how you set up and run a tensile test on the Galdabini universal testing machine. If you have any questions on how to set up tests, any questions about the equipment, grips, fixtures, extensometers, environmental chambers, we also have video extensometers. All of these accessories can fit onto any other universal testing machine. If you have questions, you can visit us at universalgripco.com. Go to the top right, click contact us, and send us a message. Our phone number is also on there. You can call or text. We're always available, and we hope to hear from you. All right, thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.